Shabby Gamer here, and welcome to another episode of our Gibraltar Challenge. Now, this is going to be an episode that I didn't even know was coming up myself, but I've just noticed that the national squad have a couple of friendly matches. This one here against Chinese Taipei, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, and they also have a friendly match against New Zealand as well. So we're going to watch both of those and see how we get on. Of course, we're not in control of Gibraltar as of yet, but it is one of our long-term plans is to take over Gibraltar and try and make them an international force as well. They've called up quite a lot of our team up to the squad. Let's see who's in the... Oh, wow, there's a lot of players are starting. Right. This is essentially our team. We've got Callum McDonald in goal, who plays, of course, for Europa Point. We have got a left-back, Joseph, who plays for Europa Point. Not doing too well, Joseph. We've got Steve Cooper, who again plays for us, Europa Point, just won the league. Wiseman is not one of our players, but he's still a pretty good player. I think this is the one player who comes from England. Yes, it is, isn't it? Who are they wanted by? You know, I just wonder whether we could... Oh, I've clicked on... oh, it's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. Well, let's just ignore that then. Alex Riley, or Ashley Riley, should I say, sorry. Our right back from Europa Point once again. Just showing how much we're dominating this national side now. We've got Neil Montegriffo at left back, left midfield should I say, again, a Europa Point player, very good player, got quite a few assists for us this year. We've got Munoz, who's not one of our players, Joseph Munoz, but he is a very good player. I wonder whether he might be worth having a look to try and maybe sign up in the summer. We have Tristan Sargent in that centre midfield, one of our best players this season, 24 games, 7.24 average rating, 7.42. Average rate, should I say. Alongside him, we've got Frank Evans, again, one of our players. Very good player. Been one of our rocks this year. Lots of assists from him. On the right-hand side, Tony Ball, a player who we've actually trained into this right midfield position. He's got better at it as the season's gone on. He's got a lot more football there. Done really well. And then, of course, up front, Michael Luke, who's not done fantastic for us. He scored a few goals, but I think next season's going to be his season. On the bench as well, we have... Liam Joyce is a player from our side. Cook is a player from our side. McDonald is a player we've signed, but he's not come in yet. As is Conroy as well, a player we've signed, but he hasn't come in yet. Got Maguire as one of ours, and of course Green on the bench as well. So we're really dominating this squad. And let's see how they get on. It's great to see them all getting some more caps. Well, some of them getting their first caps actually, but I think both of these games are winnable, even though the odds from Sky Bet, where it was, are not very much in our favour. I think we're 50-1 to win this match, but I still think this is a very good team, and I think they could actually win this match. There's no reason why not. They've got the quality, I think. It's Chinese Taipei. I don't think they're the best team in the world. We've not heard much of them in real life, so I should imagine we'll do quite well here. Got a very good team. It's mostly Europa Point, the champions winning team. The only players that are not ours, of course, are Joseph Munoz and I think Scott Wiseman. Everyone else plays for Europa Point. Riley across to Frank Evans. Gets taken out there by... Oh, God, I'm going to struggle with these names, aren't I? Seng Chen Mu. Tristan Sargent now. Sees the space for Joseph to run into. Joseph plays the big cross in. It's met by Frank Evans at the back post, and Gibraltar lead 1-0. Now, Gibraltar have lifted themselves up the FIFA rankings over the last season. We've watched all of their friendly matches so far, and they've won a couple against, was it San Marino and Hong Kong, I think it was. That took them from 208th up to about 187th, so another couple of wins could see them get fired up even higher in the world rankings, which would be great to see. And, of course, it's great to see Frank Evans, one of our players, a player who I am very fond of, probably my favourite player so far in the game. He won the Young Player of the Year award this year, and he dedicated that award to us, to Shabby Gamer. He dedicated the award to us. He's probably my favourite player. He's really got his head screwed on. He's a fantastic player. He really is very consistent as well. Got a lot of assists this year, and I think it might even be close to making him the club captain next year, you know. Because he seems to be the one player who... Oh, they're taking a couple of our players. I've brought on Hernandez and Conroy. He seems to be a player that, towards the end of the season, was really trying to G the other players up. Really trying to get the motivation into them to go on and win the league. And I really like that about him. So I think next season Frank Evans could be our captain. On comes John McDonald, a player that we are signed up. Be interesting to see if he can play. I think they might have changed the formation and played him as an attacking midfielder. But Gibraltar looks like they could pick up another victory here. You know, that'd be fantastic if they do. They get fired even higher up the rankings. On comes Matt Maguire, a player who's barely played for Europa Point, let alone the national side. So it's great to see him in there. And like I said earlier on, Europa FC, the team we were fighting for against the league, although they ended up finishing third, they didn't have any Gibraltarian players in their squad. And a lot of the other top teams don't. They have a lot of Spanish players and a few Portuguese and even Argentinian players. Chinese Taipei, and it's a great save there by Callum McDonald. So yeah, it's great to really bring some of these young Gibraltarian players through, and that's what I'm trying to do. We've done pretty well at it, and we'll do even better at it next season because I brought a few more of the top Gibraltarian prospects in the shape of McDonald and Conroy as well. Some really good players. And here is McDonald on the ball now, and one player who's not playing is Walker, and I think he may have retired. I've seen a few people that have done this Gibraltar challenge, and Liam Walker, who does start off as the best player in Gibraltar by a country mile, plays for Lincoln Red Imps but left at the end of the first season because he couldn't agree another contract, would not join me because I think he wanted to go full time, and he does end up just retiring, so that's a shame. But it does open up that position in the national squad for some of these other players, and we do have some really good young players that I really want to see advance. And I'll tell you what, for Frank Evans with this goal, if he wins this match for Gibraltar, what a great guy, what a great guy. And Joseph as well, one of our players, the left back for our squad, our first choice left back, currently playing an 8.1 with the assist. And it looks like Europa Point are going to beat Chinese Taipei here for the third victory, which I'm happy about. I want to see Gibraltar do well, but at the same time, I want the Gibraltar job. And there is the victory, 1-0 win. Fantastic, fantastic news. Joseph with the man of the match, Frank Evans with a goal. That's Frank Evans' 5th cap and his first goal for the national side. Doing well stat-wise. And we'll have a look at the end of the episode. We'll have a look at the stats, see who the top goal scorer is. I think the top goal scorer for Gibraltar now has 2 goals in history, but well, it's not going to load this back up. Oh, it is. Right. Yeah, the top goal scorer in history I think has 2 goals, so I'm hoping that some of these players can start to take a hold of that record, and I think Michael Luke might be the man for the future. But let's get into our second friendly match against New Zealand. And here's just a few extra little bits and bobs. Tristan Sargent has just dominated this, hasn't he? As you can see, end of season awards, Fans Player of the Year, Tristan Sargent. Second place, Frank Evans. Third place, Isaac Cortez. But goal of the season, Tristan Sargent, once again against Lynx, which was that long shot. We'll have a look at that in a second. Signing of the season, Tristan Sargent. Young Player of the season, Tristan Sargent. So Tristan Sargent really is just a fantastic player. And you can see he really is a step ahead of quite a lot of the other players in the club. Let's have a look at the goal of the season that he scored then. I know this goal. We were losing 5-0 at the time, so it took a little bit away from it. But still, it was a very good goal. And it was worthy of the goal of the season. If we can finally get this loaded up. Come on, game. There we go. Yeah, we were losing 5-0 at the time, but Will Stevens played the ball across to Sargent. And there it was. Boom, right in the bottom corner. So, it was a good goal. It was a shame we were losing 5-0 at the time. Doesn't matter. We wanted to win the league anyway, I suppose. But, yeah, I'm happy with that. So, let's get straight into that game against New Zealand. And here we go with our second match of the episode. Gibraltar at home against New Zealand. Now, this is going to be a tougher one than the first game. But it's still definitely winnable in my eyes. And look at that. New Zealand are actually top of the qualifying for the World Cup, as they probably would be, because the Oceanic area is not exactly a very strong area to be involved in. So let's have a look and see what the team is going to be. Is it going to be the same as last game? No, they've changed goalkeepers. Taken McDonald off and brought in Coling. Joseph, Maguire, Cooper. So again, 3 of our players at the back. Maguire we didn't look at last episode, so let's have a look at him now. Another very good young player, came through our academy this year, did come on as a sub in the last game. It just shows that probably some of these players are better than what we've given him credit for. Conroy, a player we have signed, who will be joining us for next season. 9 caps already for Gibraltar, he's starting this game. Across the midfield, they've got Casquero, Sargent and Evans stay in the middle, and Hernandez, and up front on his own, Michael Luke. So there's less of our players starting this one, but still some really good players in there. Sargent and Evans, the centre midfield, and Conroy. That could be our triangle of players next season. Definitely. I'm thinking we need to change our formation slightly as well, so we'll have to have a look at that. But let's get into this game. And we are underway. Again, like I said, a winnable game here. I think New Zealand have got a few good players. Let's have a quick look at their squad and see if we recognise anyone. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? What are we looking at? Is that the one? There it is, right. So they've got Winston Reid, of course. We all know Winston Reid from the Premiership, playing for West Ham. Apart from that, I don't think there's many other players that I've heard of. Some of you might have, of course, but there's no one else I've really heard of. We'll have another look in a second. But Joseph to Frank Evans to Conroy. And I'm thinking about different formations for next year. And I'll have to have a look and see what we can find. But I think there's some great potential to really go on and continue on our winning ways next year. Van der Broek brings the ball out. He doesn't sound very New Zealandish, does he? What do you call someone from New Zealand? Is it a New Zealander? It's not New Zealandish, is it? But I think it's a New Zealander. I think. I might be wrong. I apologise if I'm just completely insulting everybody who's watching this video. All 6 of you, I apologise. Gould now plays the ball in. It's picked up by Rogers, and Maguire's taken him down for a penalty. Unfortunately for Matt Maguire, one of our players made the mistake, and now New Zealand have a chance to take the lead. Who's going to take the penalty? It's going to be Winston. I had a feeling it was going to be Winston Reid. It's saved. I don't know how much the goalkeeper knew about it, but he saved it. Ooh. So, Matt Maguire gets out of that one lucky. Now, is there anyone else? Chris Wood. I do recognise Chris Wood. I think he used to be in the Newcastle Academy, I think. I remember buying him on one of the older Foot Managers. Joseph comes forward with the ball to Michael Luke, who loses it to Graham. Luke is injured, but they've kept him on anyway for now. Maguire plays it back forward to Casquero. That's not our Casquero, who incidentally is retiring at the end of the season. Mainly because we've not offered him a new contract, but he's on his way out. But Wood comes forward with the ball. Of course, I will be uploading the season preview pretty soon after this video anyway, just showing you all the new players we've brought in and who we've released for our 3rd season coming in. And Van der Broek with a goal. And it's 1-0 to New Zealand, which is not... Like I said, I knew this game was going to be a bit more difficult, but I thought it was still a possibility. But New Zealand have got some pretty decent players. But you never know. This is not over yet. There's still time. It's a good goal. I've got a feeling Callum McDonald might have saved that, though. I don't know why they brought this random goalkeeper in. I know it's only a friendly match. Probably just trying to try all these different players out. I'm not happy that Michael Luke's been kept on the pitch still injured. I don't know if he's going to be able to shake this knock off, or his condition's slowly going back up, so it looks like he might be able to shake it off. But apart from that, we're looking okay. 20 minutes in, 1-0 down. It's not the worst thing that could happen. Of course, they have saved the penalty, which probably helps out a little bit. But I think they're going to be pretty... As long as they don't get hammered in this one, which I don't think they're going to. But that win against Chinese Taipei is going to be a massive win for them. That should boost them a bit higher up in the FIFA rankings. And like I said, we will have a look at that before we finish this video. We'll look at the FIFA rankings. We'll look at most caps and most goals, as we normally do towards the end of these episodes. Barbarousis comes forward. And I don't know if we have to start qualifying for the World Cup soon, maybe. Of course, I have added Gibraltar as a FIFA nation, so they will... be involved in the World Cup. I don't know if I'm pretty sure everyone gets involved in the World Cup qualification, so maybe that's coming up pretty soon. It's not been drawn as far as I'm aware yet. I wonder if we've just been too late, maybe, because we may have been too late, because I know the World Cup's coming up next year in 2018, I believe. So that's what we might have to keep an eye out on. Smith forward to Rogers, across to McClinchy, to Graham. And Gibraltar don't really want to concede another goal before half-time. It wouldn't be very helpful for them at all. Gould gets the ball out on the left-hand side. And Chris Wood there with a header. And it is 2-0 to New Zealand. So as you can see, there's still a lot of work to do to push Gibraltar on as a strong nation in the world. But I think the foundations are firmly set. We've got some fantastic players come through our academy. And just do not forget that we're in the Champions League this season. We might get knocked out in the first round of qualifying, but that doesn't matter. That extra bit of Champions League experience is probably going to make our players a lot better. It's going to give us a bit of extra money, some good gate receipts, and hopefully boost our reputation as well. We might be able to bring in some better players, because they were made to a few good signings so far, so it'd be interesting to see what happens. They seem to have dropped Michael Luke back into a more midfield position. Not quite sure why. Monty Griffo on the ball. Is he coming on as a substitute? He seems to have quite a lot of energy still. I think he has come on as a substitute. Casquero across to Morandi. Yeah, Monty Griffo has just come on the pitch. Of course, Monty Griffo, one of our players, has done quite well so far. Conroy is going to get booked here, who is going to be one of our players very soon. Of course, he has been signed up. He's getting a stern telling off, but he doesn't seem to be getting a booking for it. That's pretty good. Yeah, so Conroy is going to be one of our players as of next season. He's already signed up. But like I said, we'll go through all of that in the season preview coming up in the next episode. Because there might be some more players I get a hold of, who knows. I'll have another little dig around. Hunt around in all the under-21 squads up and down the country and hunt around, see who's doing well. See if we can pick up some of the best players around. We've got a pretty strong squad already, so I don't think we need to add too much to it, to tell the honest truth. I think if anything we need to reduce the size of our squad. And Chris Wood with another goal. It's 3-0 to New Zealand. And this is probably one of the more comprehensive defeats Gibraltar's had so far. We've watched all of their friendlies bar one so far. The one that we didn't watch was clashed with one of our league games, I think. Because we had no players called up at that time. It was right at the beginning of the game when we were still in Division 2. We had no real good Gibraltarian players. Now we've got quite a few good ones. But like I said, it's still a really good experience for them all. Frank Evans, well, my favourite player on this game, Frank Evans, at the moment. He is still doing pretty well in midfield. Oh, it was a save, but Coling's put it in the back of the net. I wish they would have paid Callum McDonald for this one. Don't know why they brought this Coling guy in. I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before. He must be playing for one of the other clubs in Gibraltar. But I just think I'm happy with Callum McDonald in goal, because that was a poor save. He got the ball and he just sort of palmed it into the side netting. Not quite sure why. So can they turn anything around? Can they get a goal back maybe? Liam Joyce comes onto the pitch. Stuart Cook onto the pitch. Ashley Riley onto the pitch. They're bringing the Europa Point guys back on. Maybe that was the problem. They dropped... We played a lot of Europa Point guys in the game against Chinese Taipei, and they won. They come into the second match. They drop a lot of the Europa Point guys, and now they're struggling. See, they should stick with them. And it just shows as well that when you join Europa Point, you instantly get called up for the national side, it looks like, as well, because quite a few of these players had never been considered before. And every single set of friendlies, we get more and more players called up. I think last set of friendlies we had the most was 4 players. That's the most we'd ever had called up. And all of a sudden we had like 9 or 10 called up for the squad. Monty Griffo pours it into Evans, and Evans scores his second goal in 2 games for Gibraltar. Frank Evans, I think that might make him joint top goal scorer for Gibraltar as well. He's starting to get himself much of a cult following. He's already a massive player for the fans of Europa Point, but these 2 goals in 2 matches for Gibraltar national side could make him a national hero. Like I said, I think the goal scoring record at the moment is 2 goals. So Frank Evans, that might make him joint top goal scorer in history. But like I said, we'll have a look at that before the end of the episode. We'll have a look at the FIFA ranking and the stats and things like that. But it's good to see a goal. I'm really looking forward to next season now as well. We need to build on what we've done. We've done some really good work, bringing in some really good players as well. Because we've got a few good ones already signed up, ready to come in. I don't know if we'll sign much else apart from those. I'm gonna have a quick look around and see if we can get any free transfers from some other countries as well. That might be an interesting thing to look at. Because I know now we've got Champions League football, might be able to attract some other players maybe. And I wish they'd take Frank Evans off. They're really playing him into the ground these last 2 games. But it looks like he's going to be okay. The game's going to end here 4-1 by the looks of it. But Frank Evans is on the ball again. Plays the pass back to Casquero. Back to Wiseman. Wiseman, a player... I've just tried to sign Wiseman off camera a minute ago. He plays for Scunthorpe at the moment. And he's looking for a way out because he's not happy with the fact they've been relegated. But, of course, he's not interested in coming to us at the moment. And I'm hoping for some point in the future where we can buy players from England, from the lower leagues. Of course, we'll hopefully get the higher league players pretty soon as well. And there it is, a 4-1 win for New Zealand, which is fair enough. They are a better team, as we know. But a good goal again for Frank Evans. Let's have a quick look at what that does for the FIFA rankings. And here we are. That victory against Chinese Taipei has helped Gibraltar now lift themselves up to 174th in the world. They've gone up 3 places at 84 points. And they're slowly getting there. They were down at 210th a while ago. And it just shows you how much they've gone up. They've actually taken over Chinese Taipei now. So yeah, they're looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Let's have a look at Gibraltar as a nation then. We've got Stuart Conroy as one of our players. Frank Evans is now one of the top players. That's really good. I'm happy about that. Lee Casquero is actually leaving. He's retiring at the end of the season. I tried to sign Wiseman. Kyle Casquero. Don't think he's actually that good, is he really? We don't really need him. John Pusey. I'm going to try and pronounce that way and not risk offending anyone. Let's have a look at the history then. We want to go for records. So top goal scorer is Frank Evans with 2 goals. All-time top goal scorer is Jake Gosling. So Frank Evans and Jake Gosling now equal on 2 goals apiece. But I fancy Frank Evans to get it just for the sheer fact that he's only 17 years of age and Jake Gosling's not even getting in the squad anymore. Most goals in the match is Cabrera. That's obviously joint with quite a lot of other people. Most assists, Liam Walker. Again, joint with quite a lot of other people. Yeah, Liam Walker does look like he's retired. That's a shame. Most player of the match, that's joint as well. Most cap player is Joseph on 28 caps. And of course, he plays for Europa Point as well. Youngest goal scorer, Frank Evans, which is great. Youngest player, Matt Maguire. Again, one of our players, even better. So we're starting to dominate some of the rankings as well. Highest world ranking is 174th. And our lowest attendance was against Canada at home. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Biggest win, 1-0 win over Malta. And that was where it all changed around for them, I think. Biggest defeat against Poland. This was all in the... this was all before the game started, isn't it, really? But yeah, I'm hoping that they can continue to build on this, because they have got some really good players now. Frank Evans, of course, is just one of my favourite players in the game at the moment. I'm really happy we've got him. 6 caps, 2 goals for his country as well. 1 more goal, and he takes over the goal-scoring record on his own. And he's just an outstanding player. He's getting better and better and better as well. And I really think next season he's going to be a dominant player for us in the league. So that's going to be the end of this episode. I hope you have all enjoyed it. I know I didn't mention this episode beforehand. It just sort of so happened that we had these friendly matches, and I thought, yeah, why not? Of course, the season preview for season number 3 will be coming up pretty soon after this video as well. I just want to show you guys all the transfers I've made and just basically our schedule and just see what we're going to do with the next season, really. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then be sure to hit that like button. It does help me out a lot. Makes the video easier for other people to find, which of course makes the channel grow as well. And of course, subscribe if you're enjoying this this Gibraltar challenge. We'll be doing some other challenges at some point as well. I want to do a Man United career mode, but I'm waiting for the January transfer window to finish. As soon as that happens, I can put the new players in that they've signed, hopefully, and we'll get going with that. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.